Good morning. Good morning. It is October 26th today. This week we're going to be looking at the reading skill in our Bellwork compare and contrast. We know that compare means how are they similar. We know that contrast means how are they different. So we're going to be looking at two texts today. We have My Favorite Place, passage 1, and A Rainy Day, passage 2. So we always look at the questions first. Which of the following characters find books most fascinating? Okay. So I'm going to go character, find book most fascinating. Okay, so that's what I'm paying attention to. So is it Mrs. Dokes, James, or Maddie? All right, the character in passage 1 enjoys reading more than the character in passage 2, less than the character in passage 2, equally to. Okay, so I know that means the same. That means obviously less. That obviously means more. So I'm going to compare the character, how the character views reading in this one to how the character views reading in passage 2. All right. Which passage is written in first person? So I know this is point of view. And so I know there's clue words that help me know if it is first person or third person. So I'm going to look at the pronouns to see if that helps me out. And then question 4, which is a true statement about the passages? Okay. All right, so one of these three are going to be false. One's going to be true, so I'm going to look for my true statement. All right, so my questions have focused my learning this morning, and I'm ready to read passage 1, My Favorite Place. My teacher tapped her foot, waiting on me to answer her simple question. Miss Dokes had asked each student to think of their favorite place in the world. This sent me daydreaming to a magical place I'd found just blocks from my own home. A place I often found myself needing to escape my boring home. My favorite place is unique because once you enter this place, you're able to transport to anywhere you can imagine. You can travel in time or cross oceans. My teacher exhaled slowly, trying not to lose her patience. James, I need you to share a real place with the class, not make-believe. I smiled, knowing my teacher was in for a surprise when I told her she, too, had been to this magical place called the library. All right, I'm going to go back here. I want to go, you can travel in time. You can cross oceans. You can be transported anywhere. And that is all how they're describing the books that are in the library. Okay, all right. Passage 2, A Rainy Day. Maddie hummed a tune from the radio while listening to the rain and wind beat against her window. She couldn't help but be disappointed that her very first camping trip had been canceled on account of the storms. The power was out. Visitors were out of the question because of flash flooding, and her older sister was away at her dad's house for the weekend. She had just accepted that she would die of boredom when she realized her mom had gone to the library for her and left a stack of new books on her side table. Maddie's mom had been on her about reading more, but Maddie wasn't interested. Might as well, Maddie mumbled, picking up her first book in months. Wow. Okay. All right, so which of the following characters finds books most fascinating? Well, Mrs. Dokes, that's the teacher, so I didn't really talk about her. James, he's the character in passage 1, possibility. Maddie, well, she didn't use the word can travel in time, cross oceans, transport to anywhere. So I'm going to eliminate her. And so my correct answer for number 1, I believe, is B. All right, in passage 1, the character in passage 1 enjoys reading more than, less than, equally to the character in passage 2. Well, let's see. Maddie is the character in passage 2. She is about to die of boredom. She is concerned about the weather. There is no one who can come see her, or she can't go anywhere because on account of the weather. All right, so let's look to see. The character in passage 1, which is James, enjoys reading more than, possibility, because he uses all kinds of words. Less than, well, I think I can eliminate that one. Equally to. Well, I didn't get the same vibe from Maddie as I did James. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate that one. And I'm going to go with A when I compare the two. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do tomorrow's the 27th. Again, I'm going to be looking at the questions. and then going to be comparing and contrasting two passages. All right, how are the main characters, I can see a typo, in both texts similar? So I need to look for how they're similar. I know that means compare. How are the characters different? That's contrast. What is the theme? Ooh, this one's always kind of, I really have to think deep about that one. It's not obviously stated. I've got to figure it out. And which is a true statement about the passage? I'm going to underline true statement. All right, so I know I need to look at how their characters are similar. I need to look at how the main characters are different. I need to think about the theme, the general message that they're kind of giving me clues about, and then which statement is true about the passages. All right, going to go up to passage 1, looking back. Jenny stood on the platform thinking back on her first day of swim lessons. Well, that explains why she's on the platform. The huge pool had seemed so daunting. There were so many days that she nearly quit, but her parents were consistently cheering her on. She put in hours upon hours perfecting her strokes and beating her own times. Feeling the gold medal around her neck, she knew it was all worth it. Well, yeah, that's awesome. All right, passage 2, Superstar. Candace lived in a family of superstar athletes. Her brothers played on competitive soccer teams and wooed the crowds with their fancy footwork. Her older sister was captain of the cheer team and had her blue belt in karate. When Candace told her family that she would rather pursue art, ooh, I gotta underline that. Pursue art. I need to make sure I know that's Candace. They told her it was a waste of time. Really? Wow. Despite her family's ridicule, she poured through YouTube videos and magazines. Her endless nights of painting paid off when she won the Florida art competition. Wow. Endless nights. She won. Good for her. Good for her. All right. So now I'm comparing Jenny to Candace, and I'm going to look at how are they similar. They both spent time pursuing athletics. Well, Jenny did, but she pursued art, so I know that that's not correct. Both characters showed persistence. That means kept at it and kept at it until they got better and better and better. Possibility. They both had different interests than those in their families. Well, it doesn't really tell me what the family was interested in the first passage. But this one tells me, so I'm going to go ahead and eliminate C. And my correct answer is going to be B. They both stayed at it until they were successful. Okay, so how are they different? Jenny had support from her family, but Candace did not. Let's see, Candace, yeah, right here, ridiculed her, told her it was a waste of time. All right, Jenny had support, constantly cheering her on. Okay, that's a possibility. Jenny was successful, but Candace was not. Well, no, Jenny got a gold medal, and Candace got an art award. Candace worked harder than Jenny, but they both really pretty much worked hard at what they were doing. So my correct answer is going to be A. Now you're going to do 3 and 4 on both sides. Thank you.